Next, what I'm going to do is quick bio on Basil Boioannes. He was a Katepano of Italy from like 1017 to 1027. Now, we don't know a lot about Boioannes from earlier, just basically what he did under Basil II in Italy. He was probably one of the best Katepanos besides Kairos Delphinus as being, effective in the Katepano role. Now, he was called to Bugiano in Italian, considered one of the greatest Eastern Roman generals of his time. So, this is what they're saying from the 11th century. His military command in Italy allowed the Eastern Roman Empire to become a major force in southern Italy after centuries of decline. He was appointed Katepano by Basil II in December of 1017. He immediately asked for reinforcements to fight the Lombard insurgency by the general Melisabari. So Basil replaced the Katepano Leon Tornikios, who had failed to defeat this General Milos in the battles of Arnula, Civitat, and Vaccarazzi. Yeah, sure. Basil crushes this Milos at Bari in about October of 1018 in the battle near Cannae by the river Ofanto, forcing him to flee to the Germans. And essentially the Germans make him a Duke of Apelles, which he later dies in 1020 in this role as a Duke. Then he built a large fortress at the Apennine Pass, guarding entrance to the Appalachian plain. So, in Boioannes' 10 years, he takes back Chirio, Dragonara, Melfi, Civitat, and the region would be known as Capitanate, where he fortified towns and roads. And he also welcomed Lombards to settle there and live, but not the Normans. So that's kind of interesting. So we see how bad the Normans were. He makes an alliance with this Pandulf, the fourth Duke of Capuia, and he captured Milos's brother Daddio in Gargliano, handing him over to the Katepano in 1020, around June 15th of 1020. He goes over, wins Salerno through diplomacy in 1021. Now, this makes the German Emperor Heinrich II to rush over to Trio, trying to siege it for about 3 months, but making no progress and returning back. In 1023, Boioannes builds new fortifications at Motola after an Arab attack in Bari during that year. So he was even successful at keeping the Arabs at bay as well. In 1024, he crosses the Adriatic and invades Croatia. He captures the wife and son of King Krasimir III. And this King Krasimir III ruled for like about 30 years, from like 1000 to 1030. And he sends his wife and son back to Constantinople as hostages. So, why Croatia? Because the emperor wanted to invade Sicily and needed to subject Croatia and resolve the dispute between them and Venice over the coastal Dalmatian towns. So he's trying to help secure this planned invasion that Basil II never got to do, but wanted to do. So they basically needed this area to send a large fleet across the Adriatic, So around 1024, we see Boioannes then fortifying Reggio, and then to Messene. An imperial force, including Vranigans and Bulgarians, arrived under the Protosopatharios Orestes. News then arrived shortly after that the emperor dies in 1025 in December, and this expedition was canceled. So Basil was basically having Orestes reinforce Boioannes to take over Sicily. This would have been really interesting. I would imagine Boioannes would be successful in this. This would have been something great, but it never happened. I would assume that most likely in later 1027, even possibly early 1028. Now you understand Constantine's Basil's brothers, the new emperor, that he was recalled back to Constantinople because we don't see him in Italy or anywhere else in the West. Prior to leaving Italy, he did assist in 1026 Pandolf V in retaking Capua. He does offer safe passage to this Pandolf, the Prince of Capua, if he surrendered, which he did on May 1026. So, in 1041, we see his son, Ex Augustus Boioannes, as the Katepano of Italy from like 1041 to 1042. After the former Katepano Michael Dukianos' disgrace and defeat at Monte Maggiore on May 4th. So, this Boioannes' son was not successful like his father. Was he bad? No. I think he did have some success real quick as a Katepano, and I think in this Katepano, I think he had some success September 3rd, 1041, if I'm correct. Handing like the Lombard Autumn off Benevento back to Constantinople or some story like that. I didn't really dig in too much in his son's career, but he only lasted about 1 year as a Katepano. So as you can see, going back to Boioannes, Basil, he was very successful as a Katepano. Would have been very interesting to see him, going to Sicily. I'm sure he could have took it. But unfortunately, Basil died and that dream died because Constantine didn't give two shits about Sicily or Italy or anything of that fact, just having fun, drinking, excess, and man whoring. So, thank you guys for listening.